Hey guys, I'm hanging outside of Interbike. It's a big show once a year where they showcase all the new stuff, and I met up with my buddy Vinny. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. You know, it's good to see you. Your company's based in Florida, so this is one of the chances where we cross paths.
Yeah, we always try to get you run into you.
We'll get the updates. It's been a while since I looked at your original Enzo, and now you have the Enzo Lite, which is, it's exciting. It's a little bit cheaper. The regular Enzo is like $16.99. This one's $13.99.
Yep.
So you could save a few $100. And the Lite is sort of like, well, you know, it's stripped down a little bit. It has a smaller battery pack. That's probably the main difference. 36 volt, 8.8 amp hours.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually I should say you do offer a battery upgrade for both of your bikes, and it would be 36 volt, 10.5 amp hours.
It's 12.5.
12.5?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
okay.
That one has a 10.5 by default. They both could go up to 12.5.
Yes.
And that's like $500?
Yes.
So, okay. So anyway, coming over to this bike, you know, it's neat to see the folding electric bikes with an emphasis on comfort. And so I was drawn to this head shock when I first saw the bike. I was like, that's cool. And in practice, you know, you're getting like 40 millimeters of travel. It just kind of squishes a little bit. When you're focused on it, it's like, that doesn't do much. But when you're actually riding it, it definitely takes out a bit of the bumps. As someone with, you know, thinner wrists and sort of sensitive hands, I love that they have the ergonomic grips and that the front of the bike's just going to be a little softer. Also, that you have these new Kenda tires. They're 20 inches by 2.125, so a little bit fatter, and that's going to give you some stability when you're riding, especially because it's a smaller wheel diameter, and some comfort depending on how you set the PSI. So it's 40 to 65 PSI. You don't want to go all the way down to 40 if you're a bigger person or you got a big backpack on or something like that. But it is nice that there's some range on the PSI. Lowering it's not going to be quite as efficient, but this also has the smaller battery. So you're coming back to thinking about your range. That's one of the big question marks in my mind. And ironically, even though this is called the Lite, L-I-T-E, it's a little bit heavier than the original Enzo, I bet about a pound. So this is 50.5 pounds. Sometimes I'm surprised. You look at how small and compact, especially when it's folded, and you think, that's a lightweight bike. Well, it's small when it's folded, but it's not that much lighter than full-size bikes. The real value to me is someone who's got a boat or an RV, or you live with limited space and you want to be able to, you know, take a bike along without taking up too much space. This is definitely going to do it. We'll fold it down later, but when it's unfolded, one of the things I love about it is that it has a telescoping stem. Same thing with the Enzo over there, and it has a relatively long seat post, like 400 millimeters, so you can bring that up and actually get a pretty good pedal stroke going on. These are 165 millimeter crank arms, so they're a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter than a traditional bike. Most bikes have like 170 or even 175 for the larger ones, so you're going to be turning a little bit faster, but not too bad. You'll notice that that's a pretty big chain ring in the front, and that's helping to offset the smaller wheel size so that you're not beating eggs. And I love that it has a 7-speed drivetrain. This is a bit more basic on that derailleur Shimano tourney. That's kind of the entry level on the Shimano line, but at least they've got this bash guard going on, this like derailleur guard, steel, and that's going to keep it protected if and when you fold the bike and maybe it lays on its side or something like that. So a lot of little attention to detail, including a rust-proof chain. Those cast rims, they're not going to go out of true or get bent as easily as, say, like spokes would. And I like that this bike comes in a couple colors, black and white. But if you go to the original Enzo over here, this one comes in like yellow, pink, orange, silver, black, white, like all these fun colors, and they kind of, some of them glow in the dark, which is cool. But both of these have integrated headlight, which is nice, blaze light, LED. It runs right off the battery pack, so you don't have to worry about replacing batteries. There should be a little rear light on this too, like an independent battery powered light. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find it, I guess, with the, you know, traveling to this convention and stuff, but it would be right here on the back, and that's kind of nice. You just have to remember to turn it on when you start, turn it off when you stop, or it could kind of run down. You know, imagine leaving it on all night. And then those reflective sidewall stripes on the tire. So between the black and the white frame's going to be a little bit safer, a little bit more visible to traffic and stuff, but the black looks really nice, and it helps to blend in all these cables. Got a nice wrap up here, and then they're tacked along that tube section, and inside, that's where the battery is. So the weight is relatively centered on the bike. I measured both of these, and the standover height on the original Enzo is a little bit lower, so if you're someone with a really short inseam or hip or knee problems, lifting your leg an extra inch or two over this one that could be another consideration, a reason to like go one way or the other. But otherwise, you know, it's a very capable bike. It's got a 350 watt internally geared hub motor in the rear, peaks out above 500 watts. It's pretty nice. Vinny was telling me they have an upgrade available. It's like $500 and you can get a 500 watt motor. So if you're someone who's a little bit heavier, or you just want the power for climbing, maybe you're taking your boat to British Columbia and there's all those hills and stuff, that's something you could opt for as well. The pedals here are kind of generic. They're just the folding plastic design. The grip's decent. They're kind of, it's what I see on a lot of different bikes. You're not going to get quite as much stiffness or stability as metal ones, and they do sell them aftermarket, but a lot of times those don't fold as easily as this. These are light. They do a good enough job. And then you can see the magnets in here. That's the cadence sensor. Right now it has an 8 magnet sensor, but Vinny was telling me they're upgrading to like 12 magnets for 2018. So that's going to give you a little bit faster response time when you pedal. That's something I appreciate. And we already talked about the chain guide for how this keeps your pants clean. It's going to keep that chain on track, so even if you're on bumpy terrain or maybe you folded it and you're in one of these high gears, the chain is going to be longer, and that derailleur, you know, has a spring in it, but it's still nice to have an extra guide right here to keep that chain on track. You know, there's all kinds of conditions that a folding bike could end up in. We've got these Pro Max mechanical disc brakes with rubberized edge on the lever. This, in years past, like 3 or 4 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, disc brakes, cool. These days, it's like, well, hydraulic disc brakes are way better. This is only 2-finger, and it has adjustable reach. So if you're someone with shorter hands or whatever, you can bring it in. Maybe you're wearing gloves. That's really nice to have just from a touch point. But also down here, these 160 millimeter rotors are hydraulically activated versus these ones that are mechanical. You might think, oh, that's adjustable, it's, you know, old-fashioned, I'm comfortable with it, but it takes more hand effort, and they don't stop quite as powerfully. Still 160 millimeter rotors, it's nice to have. Definitely better than rim brakes or something, but not quite as useful. There's maybe not as much power with mechanical disc brakes. You got a kickstand here, it's adjustable length, which is nice, and it's right in the way of that the left crank arm. So if you back the bike up, the pedals kind of turn and you might end up colliding like we just did there. And then here's the battery pack on this one is actually pretty nice. You can open it up and charge from there. You can turn the battery on or off, and you don't have to leave the key in, which is a nice upgrade from the original Enzo. See, this one, the key is right here and the crank arm's near it, and it's got a different style of charger. This one comes with a 3-amp charger, a little bit faster, whereas the Enzo Lite, it's only got like a 2-amp charger, so a little bit slower, but again, it comes with a smaller battery pack, so maybe that's okay. And then they both come with this cool protective bag, so you can, you know, bundle it up and carry it around and keep your stuff nice and clean if the bike has gotten dirty. So I think that's a good overview. Celeruel Vento, nice saddle, talked about the tires, the motor. This one doesn't have fenders or a rack. There's some extra holes here, so you might be able to set something up yourself, but by default, it's just a little bit cleaner. And again, ironically, 1 pound heavier. So I think the other big thing I noticed is that when I was measuring it, like the reach is about 1 inch longer. And when it's folded, the whole package is a little bit longer. And the bike it's stretched out a little bit more. Maybe you can get an idea for that when I do a walk around here. It's just a little bit longer. Even the rear wheels, it seems like it's positioned a little bit further back. Yeah, just that distance right there, that reach, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Battery pack has already been clicked to on. We have a power button here. Display comes to life pretty quickly. And once you've done that, you can access the lights by pressing this power button, just clicking it once, and that's gonna activate the headlight. It's super bright right now, so you might not be able to see it. The other thing that you can do is charge your portable electronic devices off that display panel. So there's a USB Type A, 5 volt, 1 amp charging port at the base of the display. And this would come with a cell phone, like a little holster. You can see it over here. I think it's like the Lite. I think it just got misplaced during the trip, but you got a little, it's basic, but you got your phone right there and you could be charging it while you're riding, maybe using that for GPS if you're on vacation somewhere that you're not familiar with. So anyway, coming back up to this display panel, we've got your speed, pedal assist level. It does start in level 1, which is a little bit interesting because that means that the throttle is hot. So you could accidentally bump that, whether you're folding the bike or just getting started. Be kind of careful. You can arrow down to pedal assist level 0, and then the throttle is deactivated. So from a safety standpoint, I always try to turn these off before I get off or on or fold. Anyway, you can arrow all the way up to level 5 for the most power, which is cool. And we have a battery indicator. It's got 5 bars and a voltage indicator there. So the 5 bars leave something to be desired. You know, it's 20% increments. 1 bar could mean you're almost out, or it could mean 20%. You got a ways to go. So the voltage thing is kind of nice. And then we've got a trip meter down here. If we press set, it changes to a timer and then odometer. So that's very cool. And then at the top left, I skipped over this part. It says eco, normal, or power. So you can actually go further into this and tell the bike to be more efficient or to be zippier feeling. You know, that's kind of like how quickly it takes off, in addition to the pedal assist. To me, it's almost like overkill, but you know, once you get the hang of it, you hold the set button and that opens up the settings menu. And from here, you can arrow up to power or down to normal and eco. So I'm gonna put it on power just for this review so you can hear how loud the motor gets. And then we got our trip meter. We can clear that if we want. And the tire size, we're at 20 inches, that's correct. And then speed, miles per hour or kilometers per hour. I'm gonna leave it at miles per hour because that's what I'm most familiar with. And then we're back to the power setting. So I hold set again for a moment and I'm ready. I'm gonna go ahead and walk this forward, get the pedal crank out of the way of the kickstand, go for a little test ride. The saddle is set up right now so that I can just stand over the bike. I'm very comfortable, but I'm not gonna get my full leg extension when I'm pedaling. So think about that. It's nice that you can raise the seat up for that leg extension, and back to that stem, being able to rise that up if you're someone who's a bit taller. I'm gonna start out in pedal assist level 3. I feel like that's a really comfortable level. It takes me up to like, you know, 13, 14 miles per hour. So you're not getting full speed, which is nice. I'm even gonna go down to 1 and see what happens. One just takes me up to like 5, 6 miles per hour. That's great. And then with each step up, you get a little bit faster, maybe 10 miles per hour on level 2. Switch some gears. Get that more comfortable cadence now. And maybe I'll use that throttle to override. There we go. And there it is. There's the 20 miles per hour, maybe even a little faster than 20 miles per hour. Yeah, I only weigh about 135 pounds. It's not a whole lot. You don't have to worry so much about the hills and about zipping around. But for those that are heavier, it's nice to have that battery upgrade path. It's something I think about sometimes. Woo! Well, the battery upgrade path and the motor upgrade path. Try to show that suspension fork. Yeah, it's not doing a whole lot. It's hard to film and demonstrate that, but you're only getting a little bit of travel. It's just taking off the edge. That's what that's all about. And I like how sleek and compact it is. A lot of these bikes have, you know, the more traditional looking suspension with sliders on both sides instead of a single head shock. A lot of them don't have lockout and they don't have rebound adjust and stuff. This one doesn't either. It's a little bit more basic, but it looks nice and it matches. So I appreciate that. A little bit of a delay going on in the start and stop because I'm using that 8 magnet sensor right now. Hopefully in the future with the 12 magnet sensor that'll be a little bit smoother. But overall I'd say this is fine. You know, I test a lot of folding electric bikes. I like how durable the kind of cast rims are gonna be. I definitely appreciate the support. Vinny seems like a, you know, he's a good guy. He's been in this business since 2013. Do you mind helping me fold this thing? Sweet. So, you know, that's what I think about when I'm getting a bike. And then $13.99, that's, you know, that's a pretty good price. I think he offers you have a 2-year warranty and then it's like a year on the battery?
2 year on the whole bike, 1 year on the battery.
Okay, that's great. Oh yeah, here, let's do it. Wait, first thing we want to do is turn it off. There we go, so that we don't accidentally bump that throttle.
Take the safety lock off.
Okay.
Pull the latch down. Drop it to the side.
Cool.
Fold your pedals in. Kick your kickstand up.
Yep.
Pull your other safety lock up. Pull the latch out.
There we go. It's easy as that. Oh, and then there we go. We got the pedal out of the way, and there's that support arm that the whole thing can sit on. And remember, I was talking about that chain guide situation, so that the chain's not going to flop around. We are in one of the higher gears right now, so there's a little bit more slack in the chain. So that guide is a nice little extra. Some folding bikes come with like a magnet here or a rubber band or something. This one does not. But what I would recommend is to go to your Walmart or Amazon, and you can get these adjustable bungee cords, or maybe in a Velcro strap, and then you can do that around the wheels right here. There's no fenders or racks to worry about, so it's easy to tie that up, and then it won't be rattling, it won't come unfolded and maybe get damaged in the process. So we just got the bike unfolded, and I thought this would be a cool chance to show you that battery up close. You can see there's a key slot right there, and you need to unlock it to pull it out, which is nice, and there's a little metal lever. Do you want to go ahead and help with that,
Sure.
Vinny? Appreciate it. Put it in there. Yeah, you can kind of start to pull it out just using the key, and then it slides out like that. So that's what it looks like. You got the silver portion. That's aluminum. It's going to be a little bit more durable. And this one's lighter weight. I feel like this is like 4 pounds or something, 3.5, 4 pounds.
Yes.
Got that stat back at the site, but easy to carry around. And if you were storing this bike in the shed, maybe even in that bag to stay clean, you could bring that battery inside or store it in a cool, dry location. Top it off every couple months if you haven't used it, just to keep it fresh.
Yeah, for sure.
And here's what it looks like all the way out. So yeah, there's the on-off switch. I'd probably turn it off too if I wasn't using it. You know, I think that's about it. That's the new Enzo Lite, $13.99. Had a good time checking this thing out. I got all the measurements back at the website, including a review for the updated regular Enzo with the fluorescent colors and everything. For the full write-up, I'll see you at ElectricBikeReview.com. Of course, have fun out there, ride safe. Thanks for your help, Vinny. It's nice to see you.
You too.